Today we are going to talk about body defenses. Your body defends you, or the immune system defends against pathogens by many ways. Now we are going to classify the ways into mechanical and chemical. When we say mechanical, that means that these defenses work as a barrier to make it difficult for pathogens to get across them into the body without affecting the microbes chemical structure, or without affecting the microbes chemistry, or without breaking down or digesting microbes. So the first mechanical barrier is your skin. Your body is covered with skin all over it. So it's very hard for pathogens to get across this skin into your body unless your body actually is cut wound deeply. That's why once there is a cut or wound, usually the skin can seal it or heal it very fast without going to the doctor or without making stitches and so on. So skin is the first mechanical barrier that defends against pathogens. It works like a waterproof barrier that prevent the pathogens to get inside your body. And once the skin scratched or gets cut or wound, the process of blood clotting actually takes place very fast if you are healthy and normal. Here is the skin. As we see, the skin, it's made up of keratin, the protein, which makes the skin waterproof, so it works like a barrier to prevent the entry of microorganism. The second barrier, which is mechanical barrier, hairs in your nose. Hairs make it difficult for pathogens to get across them or to get inside the nasal cavity down to your body, across your nasal cavity down, then going back deep inside your body. That's why hairs work as a mechanical or physical barrier. Okay, here this picture actually shows how hairs may defend you against diseases, because they trap diseases, dirt, dust, everything that is around us in the environment that we inhale. Most of it gets stuck by these hairs. Okay. The second barriers are chemical ones. When we say chemical barriers, that means they can break down, digest the microbes, changing their chemical structure. Not only stopping them, also they can break them down. This is what is meant by chemical barriers. The first one, which is mucus. Mucus, it is made in various places in your body. Mucus, it traps pathogens. Mucus, as we know, it is produced along the respiratory tract. Also, it is found along the digestive tract. So in the respiratory tract, we have mucus. And this mucus actually is swept or wafted out by cilia. So mucus, by the way, contains digestive enzymes in it. It is not only works as a trap, also it contains enzymes to digest pathogens. The same for stomach acid. Once pathogens are not trapped by mucus, if they can beat mucus going down to the stomach, we have hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid, very strong acid, corrosive acid. It kills most of the pathogens. The third chemical barrier, which are tears. Tears are considered as chemical barriers because they contain digestive enzymes that digest microbes. Here are tears, as you see. They work as antibacterial enzymes that digest enzymes. Okay. Now, let's go back to the mechanical barrier. Also, as we took in the circulatory system, we have two main types of white blood cells. They are phagocytes and lymphocytes. Phagocytes, they engulf and digest pathogens, and lymphocytes, they produce antibodies that bind to pathogens, recognize pathogens, and also kill them. You will have more details about phagocytes and lymphocytes in this chapter. Okay, now let's move and talk about food hygiene. Now, food hygiene, it's very important to follow hygienic procedures while preparing food or before eating, in order to keep yourself away from diseases that are transmitted by food or mainly by your food or drinks. Actually, this is shown at page 130, 131. Mechanical and chemical barriers shown at your book, page 129, 130. Food hygiene, the first way of preventing microbes from getting into your body when you eat or when you prepare food, wash your hands. It's very important to wash your hands before you eat or before you prepare food. And also you can wear like stuff to keep your hair out of food. As we see in restaurants, most of the cooks actually wear like suits to follow hygienic procedures in preparing food and to prevent microbes getting into food. So it's very important step in food hygiene. The second one is to keep animals away from food. It's very important to cover your food in order to prevent flies, especially house the flies. They are the most animals that carry infections. So it's very important to cover the food once you are done, or if you want to keep it at the kitchen at room temperature, you should cover it until you want to eat. Also, you should keep other animals, if we have pets, keep it away from food, because some microbes may get stuck to their hairs, such as cats, dogs, and so on. Okay. Don't keep food at room temperature for long time. It's very important to be familiar about this point. We can leave food for a specific time, not for long time at room temperature. As we know that microorganisms can multiply very fast and they prefer to reproduce at room temperature, which is from, let's say, from 20 to 30. So they prefer to reproduce at this range of temperature because it is the optimum temperature for their enzymes to work. So over 5 degrees to 60 degrees, you have to be aware about preserving food between these two temperatures or within this range from 5 to 60. Now, as we know, if we keep the food in fridge or in freezer, the microorganisms work is slowed down. So, microorganisms enzymes cannot work. They are now frozen, they are stopped, they cannot keep working. So once we keep the food in the fridge, we are freezing the work of enzymes of the microorganisms. Some microorganisms can tolerate cold temperature and can grow below 5 degrees, but they are rarely found around us. Now, if we want to cook food and we expose it to heat, and now we want to keep it at room temperature and we want to recook it again, it's very important to also cook it at very high temperature, because once you cook it and leave it, there is a chance for another microbes to multiply and to reproduce again in this food. So it's very important to heat it at high temperature in order to kill another microbes that have the chance to reproduce again at room temperature. The last one is to keep raw meat away. As we said, salmonella, it is found in chicken, eggs. So once we want to prepare food that contains chicken, it's very important to clean all the stuff that we use, because if this stuff get contaminated with salmonella from chicken, then we may get the infection. So it's very important to keep raw meat away from cooked ones, or to wash any utensils or any dishes, any things, any stuff that we deal with while cooking raw meats. Thank you.